What's up, sports investor? Rothstein here, famed Rothstein, betting public sports show. Today is Sunday, April 2nd, 2023. I got no action. Did the action on the podcast today, and 3 out of 5. It ain't bad. As you know, this is mainly a sports investing show where I give you tips on which games to bet on. Regardless of the sport. And I didn't even do the women's college basketball game, the final LSU and Iowa out of the Big Ten. I didn't even do it today because I quite honestly I don't watch much women's basketball. It's not my sport. Don't enjoy it. It just reminds me of middle school hoops in the '80s and early '90s where people can't dunk. I watch basketball for the entertainment, and I'm not entertained by, I'm entertained by dunks. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, people blocking shots and dunking on people. But there's no disrespect to the ladies, because if you, remember a couple of years ago, I did a series on, summer athletes, and one of them was a female who was a basketball player, the daughter of a guy who played professional ball, a childhood friend of mine. So it's nothing like that. But I'm gonna try and get in and out of here quickly because this video is about what we saw at the end of the game, and some people who need to step up, because as you know, LSU, they won, kind of won probably like 20 points. Like they dropped 100 on them, like 101 to 80 something. It was a rout. LSU was like a 5-point underdog, 4.5-point underdog, and Iowa's player Caitlin Clark. I mean, she's been going off in that tournament. I think going into that game, she had scored 180 points in just this year's tournament alone in the 5 games. Phenomenal. We haven't seen anything like that even in the men's tournament, other than like Glenn Rice in like 1989. Remember Michigan? A Michigan man will coach Michigan. Glenn Rice went off like 100. I think it was at that time it was a tournament record. The way he went off, and this girl Caitlin Clark, white female. And that's important. That's important that I bring that up, and you'll find out here why in a second. She went off. Been going off in that tournament, and then in a round or two before playing in the final against LSU, she goes up against Louisville Cardinals, and she does the John Cena, you can't see me thing to. I forget her name. Van Worth, is that her name? Some young lady from Louisville, their best player. She does that, talking shit to her. Taunting her. She didn't say anything. She just did it. Everybody knows what that means. And nothing was said. Just fierce and competitor. Blah blah blah. Wop. And then so today they're playing after beating South Carolina, ending their perfect season, 34, 35 games in a row, goes up against Angel Reese. Is that her name? Angel Reese, the tall girl. Is she the one dating NBA YoungBoy or something like that? But anyway, Reese, the Bayou Barbie is what they call her, from LSU. Nice pretty girl. I think she's like 6'3". She's out of Maryland. She went to Maryland or some school on the East Coast and for like 4 years, and then she goes out there to LSU. And in the as the game was over, or in the waning seconds of it, the LSU woman Reese does that to Caitlin Clark, the Iowa girl, the Iowa woman, and oh my God, Reese is black. And oh my God, Twitter, social media is going off, calling LSU and Reese classless. and all this, you have no class, you're doing that, this and that, and they're going off on her. And I knew it was going to happen. I even said something on social media earlier, like, wow, this done turned into a race game. This was before the tip off. I had been saying that, like, this done turned into a race game. And that's fine. That happens. So yeah, they started going off talking shit about Reese and all that. And Dave Portnoy of Barstool Sports, the founder, owner, whatever the hell he is, founder, spokesperson, whatever he does, he's big for it. He's the founder at least. I don't know what his business role is now, but he's at least the founder of it from back in the day. It was a Boston news letter or something like that out in Boston. He's going off on her, calling her classless and calling her a piece of shit and all this and that. Of all people, I tweeted back at Portnoy saying, no, she's no more of a piece of shit than your outfit in Lawrenceburg, Indiana, who stole some of my shit and tried to profit from it. That'll come, later in another episode that I talk about. But of all people, Jason Whitlock came to Reese's defense, calling out Portnoy, saying she's just a college girl. She doesn't need to be talked to like that and all that. Jason Whitlock does not have a very strong black following. That's why that was significant for him to do that. And then Portnoy says something else, about Reese while she was on the podium with the ESPN people, the lovely Elle Duncan and the moderators, the people of that segment. And I think somebody else needs to step up. And I'm going to tell you who it is. Gillie and Wallo, the host of $1 Million Worth of Game podcast. These two guys are from Philadelphia. One of them, Gillie the Kid. I give it to him. He's kind of a funny guy. He's pretty funny. He had a rap career in the 90s. I meant to talk about them earlier, too, about something else, and I'm probably going to bring it back up, because now I'm kind of, heated. But he had a rap career in the 90s. Even Beanie Siegel, who was on Jay-Z's record label at one point. He's probably the best rapper ever out of Philly, Beanie Siegel, or one of the anyway. Even said that, that Gillie's group, Major Figures, they ran Philly for a while, Yeah, that sus. That was their little single, their hit single. Yeah, that's sus. Yeah, that's sus. That. He even said that, like I said, he even, praised him. And for I understand, him and Gillie had a rumble in the past, fist fight, and Gillie has a cousin, Wallo, who's did 20 years in the joint for like a robbery or something, and their whole shtick is now, Gillie's always, clowning him and whatnot on social media, calling him a nut and goofy stuff, all that stuff. I tell you what, I like Wallo because, that eccentric black thing he does, that eccentric, quirky black dude persona he's got, I think it could pop without without Gillie. Gillie might have to stay in the back a little bit. I'm not trying to split him or nothing like that. Gillie might have to just stand in the back, kind of be his manager or somewhere. Like I think that quirky black persona he's got, it works for me anyway. I like it. It's funny. But like I said, they do the $1 Million podcast, and it's sponsored by Barstool. And at this point, the way Dave Portnoy and, for that matter, Penn National Gaming, the way they're going off on Reese of LSU, Gillie and Wallo need to tell Portnoy, bring him on the show to issue a formal apology or give back the bread. Because I understand, when they first signed with him, it was like 3, 5 million or whatever, and they recently re-upped with him for a hundo million, $100 million. Now I know that's a lot of money to be given back. That's why I said they need to bring him on the show for an extended, episode, and where he completely apologizes, because Barstool Sports has always had some type of uh, issues socially. Like, they were called racist, and when they first started and whatnot, they had some racial issues. Well, I understand that's why ESPN stayed away from them, because they was popping on the underground. And they have a sports book. I've bet there before, but since I had the issue with them, I don't fuck with them no more. And I can tell you for a fact that is a racist outfit from top to bottom. Trust me when I say this. It is a racist outfit. Matter of fact, you can go back through the archives of my episodes and see me interviewing Barstool, an employee, about the sports betting, and and sports bettors that have been through there. So, it is what it is, but okay, maybe they don't want to get, giving back $100 million is a lot. I understand that. So I'm not going to ask them to do that. I don't know if I would either, but they need to do something, issue a statement themselves, Gillie and Wallo. And like I said, have Portnoy on the podcast, where he has a total mea culpa, apologizing to Angel Reese. Like I said, because Angel Reese, she was born in Baltimore, aka or / Randallstown, which is a black suburb of Baltimore, and y'all need to go up there and stick up for your homie. Philadelphia is 2 hours from Baltimore. They need to stick up for that young lady. They need to stick up for that young girl. A young lady, I'm sorry, she is an adult. I don't mean to say girl like that. But it just happened, in the last hour. So I don't know, maybe they will before this video publishes or gets circulated, they will speak up and say something to Portnoy. But yeah, man, like that's some, y'all talk all this shit. You've been shucking and jiving for real on that damn network. The tough guy shit that Gillie does, it's kind of a shuck and jive. It's a new age shuck and jive act. If you ask me, I would never behave like that on, especially for people with the history of Portnoy, or the alleged history of Portnoy. All right, because at one point I liked him. I thought he, like Jason Whitlock used to call him a disruptor. I liked him. Then I started looking into his history, like, whoa, this motherfucker, something different about dude. I don't know if you know what I mean? Like I said, Wallo, I don't know if that's an actor. That's how he really is, that quirky, eccentric black dude. But like I said, it works for me. I like it. I like it when he does it, but but that's his cousin, so he's going to ride with him. So since you're going to ride with him, y'all got to check Portnoy. If Whitlock can check him, a dude who did 20 for the robbery, and a dude who's supposed to be the king of the streets, or so entrenched in the streets and street culture as Gillie is, you owe it to Angel Reese to speak out for that girl the way Portnoy's been talking shit about her, because it's totally unnecessary. Like I said, the woman from Iowa, she was doing this shit first. She trolled somebody, and that's how sports work. People, you do some shit like that, the next team to beat you, they gonna clown you for the shit you did. Look at the Kansas City, what they did, against the Bengals, Burrowhead who, the daddy smoking a cigar and shit. You know what I'm saying? Mahomes' dad smoking cigars, talking about I got that Burrow pack. All that kind of shit. And then who else? All the time, people do that type of shit. So, somebody's got to stick up for Angel Reese. Somebody from Philly, not just Philly, or not Philly, but Baltimore, and somebody from, Gillie, you're 2 hours away from her, from where she was born and grew up at. Stick up for that young woman. She doesn't deserve that from a multi, 100 millionaire like an influencer like Portnoy, but people say Gillie and them will cower, because he had Jay Prince on the show. People said he was cowering to him. I'm not getting into all that situation. What happened with the rapper Offset down in Houston. I don't, but I can kind of see some of that. What people were saying about him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna need Gillie and Wallo to act like you got a pair and stick up to Portnoy on this bullshit. Because he does not, that woman, Angel Reese, does not deserve to be talked to like that by this motherfucker. You understand me? You owe it to her. You owe it to her. You owe it to your hoods. Philly and Baltimore are supposed to be tight. You owe it to your hoods. You owe it to the black women's. You just owe it to the culture to speak up for that young woman against your employer. The same shit you would want the cops to do, same shit you would want anybody else to do. Now the ball's in your court. And you've got to speak up for that young lady. She doesn't deserve that. Now, that Angel Reese, like I said, she's 6'3". So, she ain't gonna be scared of too much shit. But she just being a college kid, But like I said, college or a pro athlete, this is shit people do. And Caitlin Clark of Iowa, you talk some shit, shit's gonna get talked back to you. So I don't know what she said about it, Caitlin Clark. I didn't hear, but it is what it is. She knows that's part of the game. Gillie talking about how dope he was in high school basketball in Philly. Well, I'm sure that shit's happened before too. You owe it unequivocally, without qualification, to speak out against balls. Against ball. Paid you that money, you owe it to speak out against it. For the culture. Or don't be talking no hip-hop street shit ever again. All right? That's all I got for the day. Tomorrow, sometime about noon Eastern, all times Eastern on this show, Betting Public Sports Show, Fame Rothstein Sports Investing Show on Spotify for podcasters, Spotify, Google Podcasts, but yeah, tomorrow we've got a interview that we already did. It'll be out about noon tomorrow from Carl Nichols. This is the second time on the show. We talk a little more baseball because we talk a lot of black baseball on here. Friday we're supposed to have Coach Michael Maiden again on there. So a lot of big things coming up, but always, no matter what we talking picks or baseball or whatever, I'm gonna always be here to talk some shit when I see something like that pop off. Like I see something pop off when like I saw with Portnoy, the shit he was talking. It's the beauty of, social media. All you need is a camera and come out and talk a little shit. And that's what we're gonna do every time. But I can't stand for that. I've got a daughter, slightly younger than Angel Reese. Somebody talking shit about her, I'm coming through different. Let's just put it like that, all right? But yeah, we're gonna leave it here, and y'all be well. And check out the video tomorrow. But make sure you like and subscribe to this video. Leave comments. I should have did that, all right? But yeah, holler back, and y'all be well. Peace out.